Hi, this is Jessica DeMassa in the GuideWell Insights Lounge here at Exponential Medicine 2017, brought to you by Singularity University. Joining me in the lounge right now, I have Nichol Bradford. She's the co-founder and executive director for Transformative Tech Lab. And Transformative Tech Lab, if I'm understanding correctly, is in the business of equipping entrepreneurs with what they need, the resources that they need to develop technologies that helps people across the wellness spectrum. So is that right? Did I get it right?
That's right.
All right, great. And
That's right.
The first thing I want to ask you, Nichol, is to define what that means in terms of like, what is the wellness spectrum and what are some of these technologies that are along it?
Okay, great. So just to start out, the best thing to do is just sort of explain what TransTech is.
Yeah.
And so the definition of TransTech is it's technology to support mental health, emotional well-being, and human thriving.
Okay.
And so those three words line up with the wellness spectrum.
Okay.
So the wellness spectrum is on one side what we call human support. So people needing technology to support anxiety, stress, depression.
Sure.
In the middle is what we call the human condition. It's it's a part of being an adult in the world. Happiness, loneliness, compassion, meaning making, behavior change, like all the things that human beings go through. Technology that supports in that. And then on the far side is what we call exponential well-being.
Okay.
And so that's really, we have people in our community who are really pushing on the mental and emotional capacity of human beings. And, really pushing into what is possible for transformative leadership when someone's gifts are truly unlocked. And they can marshal their psychology and their physiology to put them in that place. And so the entire thing is the well-being spectrum. And, and also one of the things too is that, in anyone's life, a lot of times people think of the spectrum as islands, and it's not, it's a spectrum.
It is, right.
Because you can be anywhere on that spectrum at different points in your life. But what's exciting is that also the whole spectrum, including the exponential well-being part, is completely available to you.
That is so exciting. And so tell me about how, I guess, technology is fitting in and I guess making that entire spectrum more accessible or more manageable.
Yeah, one of the main things that's really driving it is exponential technology, like everything else, specifically AI and sort of baby AI in the, in the area of machine learning, emotion recognition, pattern recognition. And so what this is allowing is really great insight into people's behavior. So one of the products that I love a lot is a product called Ginger.io that supports people with depression.
Sure.
And with their permission, it also does a little bit of phone monitoring and establishes a baseline. And so if someone who is depressed or who has been depressed and just, and wants to avoid another episode, they establish a baseline. And then if they suddenly change their behavior, if they're suddenly staying up really late or texting more or a variety of things, then the system or their therapist reaches out to them and says, hey, what's going on? What's going on?
Very cool.
So it can be, they can get in advance of an episode. And so that's what a lot of this pattern recognition and life data tracking is allowing for. There's also other things like neurostim and biostim. And so what that is there's a device by a company called Wallis that is an FDA-approved electrical stimulation device. You put it on your forehead, or it's got a band to reduce depression. And so it's very effective in this.
Right.
And that, and there aren't drugs involved. And
give me an example on that far end of the spectrum.
On the
exponential exponential well-being side. What's an example there?
Well, so, human beings take direction really well, or we take feedback really well.
Okay.
The process of learning to talk, we get feedback. The process of learning to walk, gravity gets us feedback. And so when you give a human a little bit of feedback, they actually respond very, very quickly. And so on the exponential well-being, there's things that help with meditation, things that help with focus, in terms of the ability to focus sharply at will. There are supplements, so nootropics that people can take to help with focus. There's transcranial direct stimulation, which is another electrical process that helps with focus. And then something simple, there's a product called Focus at Will.
Okay.
You'll actually be interviewing him after
Yes,
me.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, I love that product. I use it every day. And some might think that it's just music, but what they've done is they've engineered the music. They've deliberately adjusted the wavelines in the music to allow for the moment in the brain where you toggle from the task network to the default network to make that smooth so you don't really notice it. So when I use Focus at Will, I can focus for 3-4 hours at a time without a break. And so those are the sorts of things, if you're not toggling over to Facebook or something
what you're
else.
capable of doing is amazing.
Yeah, what could you do with all that time? Yeah, I saw there was a friend of mine has a product called On Task.
Okay.
And it's a Chrome extension that sits on top of Facebook. Or it sits in your browser, and when you open Facebook, it won't let you scroll until after you've done your tasks.
Oh no, that's funny.
And so that's an example.
Whatever needs to be done.
Ways
it's an addiction, I think.
And ways that we can also become, more precise.
Right.
There's, great products also that. What I'm really inspired by and what I'm really looking for are products that take the data that is generated and uses it and feeds it back to you so you can really see what you do. So you can really develop a high level of self-awareness. One of the reasons why food journals work so well is most often people don't know what they're eating, when they're eating, or how often they're eating. And so, that still is a big task to have someone take out something and write in it.
But still, it's very effective.
It's really effective, but it's inefficient, and it's something added. And so, what a lot of this pattern recognition that's starting to come up would allow that data with your permission and with privacy in place to be passively collected. So then you're getting it and you can review it, but you don't have to do anything to get it.
Fantastic.
And that means more people will be able to use it.
Yep.
And then my last category that I want to tell you about that I just love is I love haptics.
Okay.
And one of the products that I'm completely in love with is a ring that it's a set of rings, one for you, one for the person that you love.
Oh, nice.
And when you wear this ring, anywhere you are in the world, because it gets connected to your phone, you can feel the heartbeat. The actual heartbeat of the person who has the other ring. And so I think one of the things...
That's really interesting.
Yeah, people don't tend to think of technology as supporting intimacy.
Right.
But, the intimacy from having sort of like a visceral reminder of the heart of the person that you love is a really good example of what technology could be. The thing that I often say is, like, many people in the wellness space feel like technology is the problem. And I don't think that it's the problem. I think the problem is that, not that it's bad, but that it's not good enough because it doesn't have a human-centered design. And there aren't enough people saying, how can we use technology to create intimacy, to create connection, to help people understand themselves better, to make us better people. We do have to work out the privacy and the ethical issues around it, but it's
really need to get that
truly
other piece
exciting.
First. Nichol, it's in closing out here, just real quick, I want to make sure that you get an opportunity. So if anybody's listening to this and wants to become one of these entrepreneurs that works with you to help kind of advance their technology and to get everything that transformative technologies offers, how do they get in touch with you? What's the right way to reach out?
So the right way to reach out is go to the Transformative Technology Lab website, and you can email me through there. You can get in touch with me via LinkedIn, and absolutely reach out. If you are working on something that can alleviate human suffering, that is supporting the mental and emotional well-being and development of human beings, we want to know, we want to help you. We have a community. And we also know all of the investors who are interested in this space.
Oh, very good.
So get in touch with us.
Very good. Nichol, thank you so much for joining us here. It was a pleasure to speak with you and to hear about all of the exciting things that you're doing. Thanks so much. I'm Jessica DeMassa here at the GuideWell Insights Lounge at Exponential Medicine 2017. Thank you.
Thanks.